All right, let's dive right in today. We're going to be looking at some pretty strong statements about Iran, specifically their nuclear program. And we're focusing on, well, the message coming from former President Trump, his administration. And we've got some interesting Fox News stuff to dig into.
Sounds like a plan to me.
So, what are we really hoping to understand here? I guess it boils down to how they saw Iran's nuclear ambitions. Like, what was their game plan to stop it? And how confident did they seem about all this?
Good questions to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing that jumps out right away listening to this is how blunt the message is. Secretary Hegseth basically says, and I'm paraphrasing a little, Iran's not getting a nuke on Trump's watch. Nope, not happening.
Unacceptable. Full stop.
Exactly. Full stop. No room for interpretation there.
Wow. So, okay, they drew a line in the sand, but what exactly was their approach? Was it all just threats, or was there more to it?
Well, it seemed like a two-pronged thing, really. On one hand, there was this offer to Iran. Ditch the whole nuclear program, they said, and let's talk. Like, come to the table, but with your hands empty.
So diplomacy, but with a pretty steep entry fee. What was the other side of that, though? I mean, they weren't just going to sit and wait, right?
Oh, definitely not. Alongside that offer was a clear warning. They basically said, look, the Department of Defense is ready to step in. If we have to, we will prevent Iran from going nuclear. A not so subtle hint at military action.
Right. So carrots and sticks, both on the table. Now, Hegseth seemed awfully sure that Trump could get Iran to negotiate, even compare it to, like, Putin and Zelensky.
Yeah.
Where's that confidence coming from?
It's interesting, right? They really believed in Trump's strategic unpredictability, this idea that his unique style, you could call it, would somehow work where others had failed. Strength, clarity, respect on the world stage. That was the thinking.
Okay, so they believed they had the right guy for the job. But they also talked about Iran's secret duplicitous moves under past administrations. How did that historical context factor into all of this?
Well, it kind of served as justification for their hardline stance.
Yeah.
The idea that previous approaches had been too soft and that a more forceful, unambiguous message was needed now.
Right, a clean break from the past. There is also that emphasis on the seriousness of leadership, both in the U.S. and Israel. What impact were they hoping that would have on Iran?
They believed that this unity, this perceived resolve between the U.S. and Israel would show Iran they meant business. Like, we're serious and you need to take us seriously.
So a united front, amplifying that clear message. But even with all that tough talk, they still said they'd prefer a diplomatic solution, right? Even mentioning the benefits for the Iranian people, world peace, all that.
Absolutely. While they definitely kept the military option on the table, their ideal outcome, at least what they said publicly, was a peaceful resolution through negotiations. They knew military action would be costly, so disarmament through talks was the preferred path.
So to sum it all up for our listeners, a firm no to Iran getting nukes, an offer to talk, but only if they completely disarm, and always that underlying threat of military action if diplomacy failed. A pretty intense mix, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure. And it raises a big question, something for everyone listening to think about. Given this two-pronged strategy, what ultimately sways Iran? What are the key factors that would actually push them to change course on their nuclear program? It's a complex situation with no easy answers.
And it's a question that's still relevant today. Okay, folks, that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.